Are your DB tired of losing his one-on-one reps versus wide receivers? Then this is the video for you. Today we're talking about the 3 biggest mistakes DBs make when they are playing press coverage. Before I jump into those though, I want to know from you guys after you've listened to this entire video, which one of these is your biggest problem. So make sure you listen all the way to the end and then drop that comment for me. Tell me which one of these is your biggest problem. Let's get a discussion going. All right, let's get into the problems though. It's camp season, as we all know. It's time to line up, take those one-on-one reps after one-on-one rep after one-on-one rep. And there's nothing like winning in those situations. And if you want to do it consistently, you're going to have to avoid these 3 big mistakes. Now, before I jump into these, I want you guys to listen to these 3 big mistakes, and I want you to tell me which one of these you struggle with. All right, I'm going to remind you again at the end, but listen to this all the way to the end, and you guys tell me which one of these are your biggest problems when you're playing press man. Number 1 in those things, shifty eyes. We all know that we have to be focused with our eyes in man-to-man coverage, or at least I think everyone knows that. If you didn't know that, you do now. If you're going to win your press man reps at camp or live or in actual game days, you're going to need to have a pair of focused eyes. There's some small debate about what you should be watching at the line of scrimmage, but there's no debate for me. Your eyes should be focused on the hips of the wide receiver. What I often see happen though is a player will line up at the line of scrimmage with his eyes on the hips, and then the moment the receiver moves, the DB's eyes rise to the face or chest of the receiver. This starts the process of the defensive back biting on all the hard head and shoulder fakes of the receiver and throws him off course. This is, without a doubt, the biggest mistake that I see being made in press coverage. It's important for you to train your eyes to stay down on the receiver's hips throughout the duration of the action at the line of scrimmage. It's also important to carry on the discipline up to a certain point during the route. Whatever the case may be, moving those eyes up at the snap of the ball is a recipe for disaster. So start working on drills to keep your eyes down as the receiver begins to move. I have several of those kind of drills in the All Eyes DB Camp members area. I will have a link to it down in the description below. The second biggest mistake I see guys making is opening the gate. The receivers are looking for room at the line of scrimmage, and I see many defensive backs in press coverage being rather generous. Whether it's a lack of coaching, training, or just trust in their speed, opening the gate is another recipe for disaster. Opening the gate is basically turning your body sideways at the line of scrimmage the moment the receiver moves on the snap of the ball. Receivers would love to run their routes exactly the way they look in the route tree. When you line up in press man coverage, the whole goal is to disrupt that tree. When you open the gate, you forfeit your chance to be able to do that. Now you've turned it into a track meet that has several possible detours. Wherever those detours may be, you can bet that you'll be the second person out of 2 to know about it. When you give the wide receiver all the room he wants to make his moves, you can expect him to win more times than not. Understand that you're in press coverage to disrupt the path of the route. You do this by moving your feet and using your hands to get the wide receiver off his course. When you open your shoulders immediately at the line of scrimmage and allow the receiver to accelerate straight off the line, you're setting yourself up for failure. Start working on your discipline with your feet. This will allow you to move your body in front of the receiver and get him off the straight line he wants to work on. When this happens, he has 2 choices. He can either continue to try and run away from you, which pushes him further off his course, or he has to get close to you, in which case you can now use your hands to further disrupt his path. When you open up the line of scrimmage, you make neither one of those things possible. Developing a good kick slide will work wonders for you in press man coverage. The third and the final of the 3 biggest mistakes I see guys making in press coverage is looking at the quarterback out of the break. This mistake is especially painful because it can cause a defensive back to lose a rep even when he was in good position for most of it. While I know most defensive backs in press coverage are in fear of the fade, the truth of the matter is that many routes versus press break off. What I see many defensive backs, both experienced and inexperienced, do is take a peek at the quarterback the moment the receiver makes his break. This hurts for 2 reasons. First, It slows your acceleration towards the receiver that's getting separation on you. Most of the time, that receiver is going to make his break first, and then you react. When you fail to keep your eyes on him and look back at the quarterback, you lose a step or two that you could gain by focusing on him. The second problem that this causes is that it may make you unaware of the fact that the receiver has changed course after the break. The reason why double moves work is because the defensive back on the play sent his eyes to the quarterback too soon. We know that all routes aren't in a straight line even after the break. It is in your best interest to focus on the receiver out of the break for at least a step or two before you check to see if the ball is coming. The only time you may be okay in not doing this is if you are in really close contact with the receiver and you can have a hand on him to know where he is. Otherwise, it's best for you in your training to focus on keeping your eyes on the receiver when he makes his breaks. Do this and I can promise you that you'll be able to get your hand on more balls thrown to your man in press coverage. Make an effort to attack these 3 things the next time you're out training, and you'll see a noticeable difference in how your reps go when you're playing press man coverage. For more in-depth information on drills and techniques to improve your man coverage, check out my All Eyes DB Camp members area, as well as you got to get that all-time best defensive back reference guide called 101 DB Tips. I'll have links to both in the description down below. But once again, of these 3 things that I named in this video, which one do you struggle with the most? I'd love to hear from you on that. Go ahead and drop your comment in the comment section down below. All right, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like and a share. And of course, if you're not already a member or you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that right now by hitting that subscribe button, as well as the bell so you're notified the next time I put out a video like this one. Thanks again for coming, and always remember, All Eyes DB Camp, consistency breeds results.